We are working in July and August to do a hookup with a particular ISI implementation with a particular vendor to demonstrate the whole chain going from the TETRA side all the way through the IWF to the MCX in a standards-based way at every part of the interface.
Good morning at CCW 2025, the biggest event ever recorded in critical communications history. So join me in Critical Communications World Brussels Expo in Belgium. Welcome to Etherstack at the booth of Critical Communications World 2025 here in Brussels, together with Astrid, by the way. Don't forget that, that's very important, David. We were talking in one of my other videos with David about interworking, right? Interworking function. Now you made it available with working with TETRA, right? So that's the latest update. So I'm going to talk about the latest updates. Go ahead.
Thank you. As you know, the interworking function really is the bridge between the traditional LMR networks, whether they be TETRA, DMR, APCO P25, and also all the different MCX vendors that are available in the market that conform to the 3GPP standards. The TETRA version of the IWF is under development at the moment, and we're demonstrating at the show the first ISI signalling calls across an IWF from TETRA, from a TETRA simulator in this case, but we're working in July and August to do a hookup with a particular ISI implementation with a particular vendor to demonstrate the whole chain going from the TETRA side all the way through the IWF to the MCX in a standards-based way at every part of the interface.
And why is that important? Well, the reason is because it's important because there are so many agencies around the world. In some countries you have maybe 5, 6, 7 agencies using different technologies together, and they all want to go and play with MCX, right?
That's right.
And they have their legacy communication system, like TETRA, for example.
Exactly right.
Everything together.
That's right. In a country like Brazil, their public safety agencies use a blend of APCO P25, DMR, which uses the AIS interface into the interworking function, as well as TETRA networks by manufacturers such as Teltronic and Rohill. And if you have standards-based interfaces and bring it back into an IWF, it's almost like a Switzerland for LMR networks. It doesn't really matter what the vendor's network of LMR is on one side and which vendor's network you use on the other side for MCX. We like to say that we provide an on-ramp and off-ramp to the MCX networks and the LMR networks for each other to interwork with each other.
So you actually force networks working together.
We can provide that interworking function in the middle to help bridge different networks that support open standards interfaces like the ISI. Now, some vendors in the market don't support these interfaces, but certainly more and more of their customers are putting them under pressure to increase the interoperability. But when you look at the DMR vendors in the world and the APCO P25 vendors in the world, you can see a very broad support for open interfaces using the ISI, CSSI, DFSI for P25 and AIS for DMR. In the European market or the TETRA-centric markets, the ISI IP has been implemented by a number of manufacturers, but it's not broadly available. But many of them are certainly looking now at how they will move to provide an open interface for us to be able to work with interworking, be able to provide interconnection in mixed networks and bridging to new MCX networks.
Okay. So basically this is the next stage of having all of those narrowband networks getting into MCX and all of these combinations getting together into one, through an interface, interworking function. Fantastic.
Right. At a carrier grade and with all the support and elements and provisioning and all the sorts of things that people would expect to see in a public safety carrier grade solution.
Okay. Thank you very much.